take you through what it's like to travel through the ICW. First, we started in Norfolk, Virginia, and it's considered mile zero of the ICW.
Nice little Navy hospital boat over there, named the Comfort. It's a pretty good name. But, if they had thought about it a little bit longer, they maybe could have come up with the life preserver, like USS Life Preserver.
It's a busy city.
Phones died and we don't have VHF, but we have the Inter Coastal Waterway chart book. Fortunately for us, because we're going to be going through bridges today down the Elizabeth River.
We do have a backup VHF.
We have a backup VHF, yeah.
We don't have AIS from our main VHF.
No AIS, so you can't see big cargo ships or anything?
Yeah, exactly. We sort of can if we use our phones, so there's like workarounds for everything. We're on backup mode. But our main VHF has like some electrical connection somewhere that's spotty, and every time I like unplug something and plug it back in, then it works again for a day. And I thought, oh, that's it, must have been it, and then it stopped working again. So I don't know yet. Bridges actually sink over time, and so usually they design it for 65 feet, and then there's some of them are a little bit less than that typically.
Bridges sink?
Yeah, they like sink into the ground a little bit more than was designed, and then they're like, oh, I'm not going to rebuild a bridge for 1 foot, who cares? Close enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just switched over to 13, so at least we can hear if the bridge tenders are yelling at us for any reason.
Yeah, that's good.
They'll probably also yell at us on 16, but just to be sure.
Yeah. They probably see that we're coming.
They're supposed to like watch us up with the bridge tender things and not smash sailboats.
That's good.
It does, like, it could happen, but yeah, it has happened.
People get smashed?
Yeah.
And what happens?
Bridges.
Do we die?
We don't die, no, we like lose your mask or whatever, but which is almost as bad as dying. Route 2 is the Dismal Swamp, which is what we're taking, which sounds dismal, but it's actually supposed to be pretty nice. But it's not that deep. It's only a 6 foot controlling depth, so we have a 5 foot draft, so we should be okay. It means like 6 feet is the minimum, although there's occasionally logs and stuff. And then there's like trees overhanging a lot, so it's a pretty narrow channel. You can't really pass that easily. And there's a couple of bigger locks, but basically no tugboats or anything go that way, so it'll be quiet at least, as opposed to Route 1, which is like these huge barges and stuff all the time.
Waiting. This big group of us waiting. Yeah, it's like down, you see it?
Yeah, this is the one that's normally closed. All the other ones we went past so far are like rail bridges that hardly ever open, hardly ever close. They're usually normally open.
Yeah.
This one's normally closed because it's like a military highway, I guess. I don't know what it's for, but it must be to get to some of these big military bases and things. And it's normally closed because it's like close to rush hour, but I mean, it looks like they're about to open it because all the cars are stopping right now.
You have to time the bridges too. That was one thing that we learned, is that you have to check what time if they're on a schedule when they open, and just plan your day around the times that the bridges open. You can't just call always for an opening, so be aware.
In like around Jupiter, Florida, there's like 8 bridges in a row really close by. You need to go just fast enough that you keep making those bridges, otherwise you're gonna have to sit around for half an hour.
lift bridge, and the rest of them should be open for us. Now we're going to be heading to the Dismal Swamp after Bridge 4. It will be on the right side.
Two locks on the Dismal Swamp route, which go like up to this like freshwater kind of area, this whole Dismal Swamp, whatever it is, National Wildlife Refuge or something like that.
Okay.
And so we're gonna go up one of them and then probably not make it all the way to the second one today, and then we'll like just hang out at the visitor center in North Carolina for the night, and then we'll go down the other one tomorrow.
Do you have all the ropes ready for the locks?
Sort of. I have these two here, which should be, these are both pretty long. You need at least like 30 feet is kind of what you want. Maybe 20 feet would be okay-ish.
They go up how much?
They go up and down, I don't know, 8 or 10 feet.
Oh, okay, so I can hold 15 feet on both sides because I want to loop it around one of
So
those.
yeah, one of them we put on this back. I mean, it depends which side we're gonna tie up. I have like fenders sort of ready. I have one fender at the midpoint ready on each side, and then we should probably put one more fender like on the back at each side.
Okay.
Which I don't have set up yet, but we can get that going, whatever. And then and then we'll set up the spring lines on whichever side we end up getting directed to tie up to, basically. Alright, yeah, so one thing that's like conventional wisdom of going south on the ICW, and especially like the Dismal Swamp here, is stay in the center of the channel, basically. Stay away from like obvious shoaling, or like if the your chart plotter or your charts say the channel's over here and the markers say no it's not, then listen to the markers in real life in front of you.
Okay.
Just stay in the center.
And we almost got a little bit stuck just waiting around for this lock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just have to be really careful and pay attention to it. You can easily get distracted.
Yeah, and there's pretty much no room. Like, it would be pretty difficult in a lot of areas to turn around.
We almost got stuck too. We're drifting to the side of the swamp, and we were also talking to the lock person, so that's great. We almost got stuck. So we just called the lock. They're gonna open in about 10 minutes. Alex had us put out the fenders on the starboard side.
Yeah, now we need to put the lines on the starboard side.
We have lines set up, just a normal cleat hitch here, and then we draped it over on our starboard side, so that we should be able to loop it over the tops. I think it's about 10 feet above us, and I think this is about 30 feet of rope, so hopefully we'll have enough to get up and not lose our boat. Oh, nice. We give them. No, we're good. He's gonna do it for us. Gotta get all of our fishing lines. And it's so beautiful over here. Dismal Swamp was really pretty. I'd still say it was a lot of work to keep the boat in the center of the channel the entire day for multiple days in a row. Thomas loved looking at all the turtles.
Yep.
morning, we all took off to make the next lock. We wouldn't recommend going through this at night because of because of the way that you have to stay into the channel and keep an eye out for logs.
Oh, yeah, it's not possible.
I wouldn't recommend it.
We made it through the dismal swamp. Not too dismal. A little bit swampy. Not that swampy either. More of a long canal. And now we're in some river. I don't know. Palmico, something like that.
Yeah. It's much wider.
Yeah, so apparently this whole area of the Dismal Swamp, so it ended up being kind of just this unused wasteland that was, treacherous enough to deal with, that it was used for a long time as part of the Underground Railroad for slaves to escape from the south and come north. So that's a big part of its heritage, and you can pick up, they have like pamphlets and stuff to read about, which was super helpful for homeschooling. It's like a relevant topic as we're heading through there.
So from the visitor center, we made our way to Elizabeth City, and they have docks available for free everywhere.
And you can see me there trying to deal with the lines in the most inefficient way possible.
Yeah, I've never docked at a bunch of pylons before, so that was an experience.
Yeah, from Elizabeth City, you head out and you go across the Albemarle Sound, I think it's called. So all the main anchorages are kind of like over here. It's over here.
Okay. No 3s, 2s.
It's not too shallow or anything. It might be more. There's less fetch for over down there, but I don't know.
It'll be alright, I guess. Well, you don't want to go down there?
We can, yeah. It's just how dark is it gonna get?
No, it's like 5 already.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's random stumps and logs and crab traps and stuff like that, but as long as you're away from any of those, it looks like there's a pretty big area at the end of it that's pretty safe anchorage. Definitely like 1 million people have anchored with no issues. And you don't really want to get too close to land because there's probably dead trees and stuff. It's pretty shallow kind of everywhere, so you can sort of anchor. We're in like 12 feet. It's kind of 12 feet everywhere. It's charted as like 8, 9. So you can kind of anchor anywhere. So we're just going to stay off to the side of the channel and wait until it's as dark as as we feel comfortable actually anchoring, at which point we'll just drop the hook. Once it gets too dark, we won't be able to see crab pots that easily, and so yeah, we'll just stop. But the farther down we get, kind of the better it'll be in terms of fetch and stuff in the morning. It'll be a little bit calmer when the wind picks up.
Trying not to hit the boat. Oh, so close. There we go. And in the water. You're backing up on it?
Backing up. And it is not moving. It was very sad.
Good. Finally, long day.
Let's do it. I'm miserable. I personally enjoy being freezing cold and covered in salt water. It's pretty good. I think we said it's not art if it's not miserable or something like that. This is art right now.
Yeah.
Going 4.5 knots.
more free docks in Oriental, and we were able to find a spot. It actually wasn't as busy as I thought it would be, so you can pull right up there.
This here is a pile of oysters, in case you've never seen a pile of oysters before. These are fresh. These are from like the guy down the street who just hauled them up, and they're pretty good.
One eye peg leg.
Pretty much one eye peg leg. He had tons of cats. The cats were like eating the fish guts off of the ground.
It was lovely.
It was great. There's this one guy, you could hear everyone on channel 16 yelling at him. As you know, he would go past this one guy, and you started hearing it in the distance on through channel 16, which is what you monitor all day while you're driving. It's an emergency like distress channel. And one guy, you know, said, "What are you doing? This is insane! You can't throw up a wig like that. You're gonna kill somebody. What's going on?" And then like you hear 2 minutes later, another one gets on and starts cursing him out. And then 3 minutes, another one gets on, and you're like, "Oh God, what's going on there?"
The channel gets clearer and clearer of everyone cursing.
Yeah, exactly. I figure like, oh, okay, I don't know. I'm used to hearing this chatter, and we're like off on the Atlantic, and we get to ignore it. And then we're in here, and we're like, it didn't occur to me that he's coming straight for me, and then he like comes around a corner. It's like a 50-foot boat that's like a big Sea Ray or something, and it's capable of going like 30 knots, 40 knots, and he's like almost on a plane, going way 20 knots around this corner. And it was like kicking up, seriously, like 6-foot breaking waves around a corner that's barely big enough for 2 boats to pass in the first place. He's like not making a decision about which way he's gonna go, and almost ran directly into us, and then also just set up like insane wake. And we're like a 40-foot sailboat that weighs like 20,000 pounds, and it's not fun for us. But you look around at the people who are on like a little jet boat, and seriously, their boat almost flipped over and could have easily just flipped and sank. Like, it's terrifying.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so I'd say that the ICW is more terrifying than the Atlantic, but we choose days that are good. That's our ICW summary, so if you want to check out how the Atlantic goes and what it's like for us, you can go to part 2 of the video. Okay. Goodbye.